Good evening. It is 5:59. Um, Let me get the time here so you can get the time of this recording. The time of this recording is June 23rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So what's gonna happen here? Um, I'm gonna share something that happened to me on June 16th after I went to the supermarket to buy a few things, and I was putting my card so that I could pay for what I bought. All of a sudden, this woman, much older than me, I would say she was like in her late 70s, early 80s, comes with a cart, and like she's moving the cart in a way that I feel she's gonna hit me. And because this behavior of people using their shopping carts to me before, I tell her to take it easy, to hold on, and she gets somewhat like offended, and she goes like, "I'm not even close to you." And I say, "Yes, you are." And I don't know why this happens to me a lot. It has hap- it has happened to me before. And she goes, "Then you shouldn't come to the supermarket." And I'm like, "What?" I remember looking at the cash and I was so surprised the first time that I verbally heard somebody at a supermarket tell me that I don't belong there in a way. So here's the I have the notes over here. So since today is the 23rd, this happened a little while, so I need to refresh my recollection. And so the lady says, I'm not even close to you. And I say, yes, you are. And that I didn't know why, but people tend to do that to me. They push the carts and they hit me. And the lady replies, maybe you shouldn't come to the supermarket. So, because I was so surprised, I say to her, maybe you're not an American. Are you an American? I ask her, and she goes, yes, I am. Maybe you should go back to where you came from. And I'm again surprised by what she's saying. So I go, I was born here. So I was born in Florida. I'm in Florida. And then I say, you don't look or sound like it. Meaning, you don't look American, you don't sound American because in America we have rights to free spaces. And I was trying to tell her is that the supermarket is a public space and any people from Any place can go to the supermarket. And by the way, the supermarket sells stuff from Colombia, big in from India, and from all other places, but like they have they cater more to the Caribbean and to Colombians. The supermarket, even on their webpage, they have a Colombian flag. The thing is that the supermarket is called Quince Supermarket. So Quince Spanish stands for the number 15. What is 15? A teenager. And so one of the things that has been happening to me that the cart, meaning, could be the child abduction response team that they have. But let me tell you, I mean, I don't see myself saving any child. I don't see myself in places where children need help. All I see is a bunch of people abusing me and using me. Since 2013, my health has declined. People have given a shit about it. My child's health also was compromised. People gave a shit about it. And so that double meaning about the cards and the child abduction stuff, it's meaningless to me. And then, so the conversation, right? When after I told the lady, that people have access to free spaces, um, I'm trying to finish with my stuff. And then I tell her, have a good day. And she says, you have a bad one. Okay. So then I understand the other themes that have been playing since 2013. My reasoning is saying, oh, I told her, have a good day. And she tells me, have a bad day. So I'm reasoning that she's playing my counterpart. And this is a behavior that's been around me for a very long time, specifically since 2013. Like people are the total opposite of what I am. Here you have a copy of my receipt. As you can see, Quince Supermarket. Here's the date, 6/16/2025, 8:03. So what is 8:03? 8:03 is not PM. This is 8:03 AM. Evening, but not yet 8 p.m. No, not. So just to let everybody know that this time is 8:03 a.m. And why is this important? Because like I said, many times when I go to a supermarket, people put cards in the middle of the aisle when they surely know that I'm gonna go through it. And then when I asked, I said, "Excuse me" or something, they just grab the card, but before they look at me like they want to kill me. Um, some employees take their cards or the hunt trucks around, and then I need to stop because they're doing something. But you get the feeling that they're doing it on purpose. Sometimes at that cash register, other things have happened to me. Um, they don't treat me nicely. There was a time, this was during COVID, and the supermarket where this happened, it was an Aldi's. At Aldi's, there are a couple of things that occur, and it's kind of like a common theme for them. Every time I'm there, either during my going around selecting stuff to buy, um, either the employees or the people that are supposedly there to buy other stuff, like the customers, they do weird stuff. And then even the registers. So, one time I was in the line. It was COVID, so we had the 6 feet of distance, and this this group of people was behind me, but I saw this woman, and she was with another guy, and they both seem weird, like they were either high on drugs or in some sort of um hypnosis or something. Uh, Their behavior was not normal. So I'm standing there again. It's like the line, the card in front of me, then them, and I think they didn't have a card. It was just the two of them and then a bunch of people behind them. So all of a sudden, they start to get really close to me. And I'm going like, what's the deal? I mean, everybody was keeping their distance. But then even the people behind them, all of a sudden they start talking a lot, really loud, and they also start to group among them. So this lady, the one that was behind me, that looked like a little um her head was in another place. She had a gallon of milk, and she grabs it and bangs my leg. And I look at her and she's smiling. And then she moves from behind me to kind of like the aisle next to where I was standing. And she positions herself like looking at me and looking at the line. And again, the weirdness continued. And the guy is then looking at me. He had like red eyes, like, I don't know, sometimes when you look at alcoholic people, drunk people. So he had those type of eyes. And then he's looking at me and smiling. But is this smile of when there's someone who's going to do something to another person, like to aggravate another person, and then when their plan is fulfilled, they enjoy it. So that's how they look after she hit me. And I remember then moving to the side of the of my shopping cart and then having like the cart kind of like in front of them because I didn't know what was gonna happen. And so this disrespect and this behavior or finding ways of trying to aggravate me, they push me sometimes, with the cards they have hit me. So for me, it's a pattern now. It's a pattern that it's unacceptable, but at the same time, I'm now not surprised. Whatever happens, what has been happening is that because I expect something bad to happen, I try to be in a position where if there's gonna be some physical harm, then let it be a harm that I can continue living on. Because the police around here, they give a shit about what happens to me. So that was at that Aldi's, and then these are the events that have been most like damning, like physically people doing something to me, and not like using a cart, for example. This lady, so she had the milk carton, the milk gallon, and bang, hit my leg. Then, oh yeah, and that Aldi's, they supposedly one time they also were putting like boxes or something on a shelf, and I was walking by, and then all of a sudden something happened to the boxes, and one fell on, hit my arm, and I got a bruise later on. They asked me, "Are you okay?" And I say yes, even though I felt the pain at the time, but I didn't see anything, so I continued walking. But then I got a bruise. It was kind of like close to my wrist. And then at a Walmart, that's another place that is really, it's kind of like a party zone for them between Addis and Walmart. I get it everywhere around here in Broward County. But so the other place was at a Walmart. I'm at again paying my stuff. I'm one of those self checkouts, and this lady comes with a broom. She started swiping the floor next to me, and all of a sudden she swipes my feet. And what does she do? She didn't say I'm sorry, but no, she's smiling, and then she looks at another employee, and she they start talking, and then they're laughing, and it feels like it was planned. No, they did it on purpose. And recently, so I already went to the police and I tried to stop this behavior because it seems to be again um this pattern of being counter me, you know, the opposites, black and whites. So a lot of people that do this are black women. So I went to the police a few months ago, and something happened to me, and so I tried to do something about it. Nothing. So it's like they plan it, they execute it, and then they have a party. So recently at a Walmart, the same Walmart where the lady with the broom swept the floor and then my feet. I went there and I'm in line waiting for the self checkout registers, and the line, is flowing. When I get to a point where I'm the one who's supposed to get to a register, it was like everybody at the registers at the self checkouts had issues, and they were taking a long, long time. So the attendee or the employee in charge of the self checkout area was a black woman. And she's kind of like looking at me. And then I see her like cleaning one of the self checkouts or doing something to one of the checkouts. And sometimes it looked like there was nobody using it, but then somebody would come and have a conversation with her. And I already knew that it was on purpose because she looked at me, something happened, looked at me, and it was like, she was assessing my behavior. I don't know what her intention was, or well, what was she trying to provoke? If she was trying to make me feel uncomfortable, upset. I got upset because it's like they're taking advantage of you and they're wasting my time. But I'm not gonna display, a savage behavior. I'm not gonna go yelling. I'm not gonna go like going like, eh, blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do that because I don't play their games. That's a really lousy game they're playing. So what happens? I'm still waiting there, and they're taking a really long time for the self checkouts to one of them get rid of a customer. And the guy that was behind me was a black guy, and he was also kind of like looking at me, and I felt like he was about to say something like, "Are you going to move?" or but for some reason he didn't say a word, although his body was like almost like in a way like trying to push me. And I was like, I'm not gonna move because I was just, you know, if they put a show, I'm gonna watch the show. I'm not gonna be part of the show, but I'm gonna watch the show. Their melodramatic. Then comes a black guy with some other stuff and goes to the lady. And they did it in a way that it went a little bit of time between th- like the last time a person got into the self checkout or when a person might have leave the self checkout, a little time, so it felt like somebody was going to leave and it was going to be my turn. But then he shows up from nowhere, from out of the blue. He shows up, gives something to her. She puts it over the cashier where she was, that I didn't want to go there. Like, why would I want to be close to that lady? I mean, if she wants to treat me like a savage, that's her business. But I prefer, if I were going to go to her, I would have said to the guy behind me, oh, you go. Because since they all get together and they have a party and they all get along in their nonsense, then you go along. They were wasting my time, but I'm not gonna be disrespected, and I'm not gonna devalue myself or be lesser, because they have this attitude that they're trying to be always above you. So I've been having this conversation, and then what I want to show about the receipt. So you says at the bottom where it says total sales 3609. So those numbers, the 3, the 6, and the 9, they continue throughout my life. And the thing is, the number, the 6 9, the counter numbers, like the yin and yang, that's been following me. That pattern keeps appearing. But the thing is that you have it in behaviors. And the thing is that people or beings are not numbers. Sometimes even the day, if there's a day that a day of the week or a day of the month that has a 6, mm, the activities that go on, at least around me, are kind of like suspicious because it is a pattern. It is not me fearing being antisocial, none of that. Because, I still believe to this day that people have the right to move freely, that people have the right to visit public spaces, to have access to public spaces, as long as they follow the rules of that public space. So the time, 8:03 a.m. I'm letting you know that 8:03 a.m. is the time that I got out. The supermarket opens at 7:30. So you know why now I try to be early or go early to the supermarket, or go as soon as they open, as early as I can, so that I get to deal with less people that behave in this um antagonistic, that behave. But it's like I don't know how they know that I'm there. I don't know who calls who, or if they have some superpower that they can watch me, and they already, they sync their superpowers, and as soon as I'm there, they're there too, or that they can read my mind. And I know this. I sometimes search in the evening to check for the supermarket, their website, the supermarket's website, that, you know, it is my pattern of checking what the supermarket has in offer during the evening and then going the next day to buy stuff. That's my pattern. And I'm not gonna lose it because I'm not gonna go crazy and go to places and just buy whatever I need. This pattern of me preferring to shop for prices for the things I need, I've been doing it since my mom taught me. Because I used to go with my mom to a supermarket when I was young and help her. Because it was my father, my mother, sibling, um, grandparents, myself. So we were like six in the house. And my mother taught me how to shop for prices. Because why not? We live in America. We have the right to whatever we earn to get the best deal and to extend our budget, to save some money. So this behavior, I give a shit. They can and they will continue doing it. But I need to take care of me and I need to take care of my finances because nobody's doing it. So I do think there's a link between my computer usage or my electronic devices usage. There is a link with what I'm gonna do the next day. There is a pattern and there is a link. So I don't think this is a superpower. But might I ask, concern about my electronic devices usage and what I'm gonna do the next day? What do you need to be concerned about it? Why do you need to wake up the next day thinking where I'm gonna be so you can be the disturbing factor, the nuance, early morning, on my morning. That's another pattern, you know, having people wake up. I don't know how the hell people can wake up thinking how they are gonna disturb, how they are gonna fuck up somebody else. Have no idea. Why would somebody waste their time just thinking and then acting, trying to impede the normal way of things, of life events going on? So when I say I'm in hell, it's because of this. There's no balance. Because when you live free, you give a shit about what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is thinking. If somebody is in a plot to, I don't know, put a bomb to kill somebody, don't you have cops, special agents, investigative agents, the Secret Service? I don't know, you have those people. I barely have money. I don't have a lot of freedom of movement because right now I just have my two legs to move. That's my only transport. And then I have the choice of paying for a public bus, paying for a Lyft or Uber or some other stuff. But my freedom of movement is because of my two legs. And I'm grateful that I can still use them. But in my head, all I have that next day is how am I going to survive? Because things have really gone really bad. I'm not thinking about how am I going to fuck up somebody else. I'm thinking how am I gonna make the best day for me and then for the people that care about me. So I'm sorry. It is really disturbing that you need to wake up the next day thinking how you're gonna fuck up somebody else.